And we are on Truth Minister Paul Scott, Black Hoodie Brigade, Durham, North Carolina, on the block, Braggtown Liberation Block, with the most controversial person in the city right now. The most controversial person in the Bull City right now. We got brother Cuauhtemoc of the Autonomous Brown Berets on post. We got Miss Mary on post.
Maestro coming across the street with the babies.
And Maestro coming across the street with the babies. So we're calling this Hands Off Ashley Robbins. Hands off Ashley Robbins. The lynching of our sister. The political and media lynching of our sister has to stop. Let me get mine off for a minute. It started about a month ago when you put up some posters, wanted posters, of the Mayor Williams and Mayor Pro Tem Middleton. And you clearly define what you calling them social murderers. Yep. Anybody with any common sense knows exactly what you meant. They knew you were talking about genocide. They knew you were talking about the destruction of the community, how certain policies become part of the destruction of the community. But they want to jump out the window and make it seem like you were being violent. Make it seem like you were calling for some kind of threat against their lives. And then Matt Kopac jumps out the window talking about he moved his big time, big money, financial, still raising money, what, $60,000, $70,000, still raising money to defeat a black woman who stood up in the community, Deidreana Freeman, in a, 70% black and brown ward. Yep. Who's putting up the money? Why do they want her out? Because she stands up for the community. So they're going to jump on Ashley, who's not even running for office anymore, who's just heading Bull City Vanguard, not even in the political picture. But they want to jump on the sister. They want to set the sister up for prosecution. They want to set the sister up for persecution. So Ashley, please give us your side of the story. We need the truth. What's going on? Why is Matt Kopac? Why is Mayor Williams? Why is Mayor Pro Tem Middleton? Why is WRL, all of them in cahoots to try to shut you down?
Because I'm speaking truth to power. And
right.
They're not used to it and they don't like it. And all these side deals that they're making with developers to sell Durham off, I'm putting a spotlight on it. And them trying to turn the tables is just to distract. One, Middleton, to distract from the fact that he's losing. He lost significantly in the primaries, and it will take a lot of work on his behalf to pull it off, to beat Shanetta Burris with a Ward 2 seat. And as far as Matt Kopac goes, Matt needed to decide, do you want to be down or not? Because you was just last week prancing around Central Campus in a burgundy sweater like you have affiliation with the campus and dapping up Leo for street cred, I guess. And then you turn around and interview with WRAL talking about you had to move your fundraiser because one of my posts had the address of it. But the flyer came from y'all. Like, I didn't make the flyer. I didn't put the address on it. You put the address on it. And all of our addresses are public information when we file. Anybody that clicks on our picture can get our whole information, because that's just part of what happens when you run for office. Nobody threatened him. Nobody threatened to do anything. And while Matt was having a $1,000 a ticket dinner.
$1,000 ticket?
$1,000 ticket.
Wait a minute. When they were trying to shut down SNAP, when people are wondering how to feed their babies, he was having a $1,000 plate dinner?
Yep. Run surrounded by some of the usual suspects, Charlie Reese and his wife and all the other bigwigs and former bigwigs of Durham. Charlie Reese jumped him out because I made a post about it and saying how it was immoral to be having a fundraiser charging people $250 to $1,000 to attend while folks are on the brink of losing their benefits. Like the poorest people in the city are on the verge of losing their benefits, and you're raising more money even though you've raised the most money, you've spent the most money, and you're still like wanting more when our neighbors are about to suffer. So while Matt was having this fundraiser, I was on a call with like 60 organizers in Durham trying to come up with a plan for how we can all work together to continue to feed our neighbors, protect our neighbors, make sure folks have clothes. We've like got sewing groups together, crocheting groups together, people that's gonna do food distribution, people that's gonna build little libraries that we can put up around the city and our neighborhoods. Like that's what I was doing while they were having this dinner. And the reality is that story came out on Tuesday to preempt what the debate, because it was questionable how well Leo would do when the rule said you can't have a phone or a smartwatch, because we all know he's always on his phone because he's not very intelligent and somebody is feeding him what he says because he's a puppet. So it's either Mark Anthony Middleton or somebody else in his crew that texts him information and he regurgitates the information and he can't think for himself or do for himself. Mark Anthony's really the mayor, if you want to be honest. So let that be a blow to your ego that your man is really the mayor and he about to get booted out and you don't know what to do because you can't think without him.
Let's get back to Kopac for a minute.
All right.
If I could. They put his thing in the context of the guillotine.
Yes.
Can you explain to the people who don't know history, who don't know about the French Revolution, who don't know about the storm of the Bastille?
Yes.
For those people who never took world history class, can you please put that in context? And please, now, and I gotta ask this question, who in Durham has a guillotine in their backyard?
I've never honestly even seen one in person. Like,
who walks around with a guillotine? So please put that in historical context, what you meant.
So the historical context was, I felt like having this fundraiser was the equivalent of saying, let them eat cake.
Or watermelon.
So
fried chicken.
Who cares about what the poor people got going on? We got to get this money. We got to raise these campaign donations. And so I made the comment, the guillotines aren't being dragged out fast enough. Again, I've never seen a guillotine in person. I'm sure they haven't seen a guillotine in person. And these same people, including Matt Kopac, was just at the No Kings rally 2 weeks ago. And I've seen pictures from the No Kings rally, and there were several people out there with replica guillotines and pictures of the guillotine that said the exact same thing mine did, which is, in these times, some cuts are necessary. And yes, the reference is to beheading that happened in the French Revolution, right? But when we say that today, that is not the context it's used, and people know that. Just like when we say eat the rich, nobody is talking about throwing unseasoned people on the grill and eating them literally. It means it's time to take back what these people have taken from us to enrich themselves. And that is it. And when I interviewed with the reporter, I made those things very clear. That it's not words that are violent. It's policy that's violent. It's gentrification is violence. The displacement of people for profit is violence. These are the things that are violent. And they leaned into emotional responses to trigger people to distract from that conversation. Because now everybody's talking about the guillotine and political violence, and not talking about the fact that this man is having this fundraiser, raising all this money, while people are about to starve in this city.
At the same time, again, trying to unseat a black woman who herself has been attacked,
yes,
who herself has been the victim of the lynching of black women.
Yes.
Trying to defeat her in a 70% black and brown ward in Durham, North Carolina.
Yep. And these people have been behind the political lynching of two other black women, Monique Hosley Hyman and Elaine O'Neill. And Deidreana Freeman is actually the last one standing out of that crew, and they're trying to do the same thing to her. and are continuously doing what they've done since 2021, trying to unseat all the black women off of council. And somebody should ask why that is, and why there were no consequences for that, because that's violence. You conspired with a developer to get a black woman off council, ruin her reputation, could have ruined her life, and there was no consequences to anybody for that. But yeah, we're talking about metaphors and pieces of paper on a pole. Like it's not clicking for me. Somebody gotta help me understand.
I think people really understand, but I don't think people put it into context. This is the most important election we've had in the last 30 years because of you and a few others have raised a critical class issue.
Yes.
Durham, that's a taboo subject. You can talk about race, you can talk about anything else, but don't talk about the disconnect between the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
Don't talk about the disconnect between the people downtown and the people in the hood. Don't talk about the disconnect for the people who are struggling to feed their family and those who are buying up houses and kicking grandma and grandpa out their house. Yep. Let's not talk about that.
And don't talk about the complicity of organizations that claim to represent black people, like the Durham Committee on Affairs of Black People, who are a big player in this now and were a big player in it historically. And some of those same people are the literal and metaphorical descendants of the same people who sold Hayti out for urban renewal in the 50s and 60s, and they're doing the same thing now. Like, Durham Committee has endorsed Deidreana, and yet the people that are in leadership on Durham Committee are actively at the polls telling people to vote a white man over her, and still that person was reprimanded, but she's still out there doing it.
I'm a witness.
I saw a video today of her out there doing it, standing right next to Matt Kopac. So she's on Matt Kopac's payroll now, trying to undermine the slate of her own organization. And that seems to be okay with everybody, because really I think the Durham Committee would be just fine if Matt Kopac was the person who won that seat, because somebody's getting something out of this. Like, there's nothing, you're not just going this hard for somebody just because. Like, there's some backdoor deals being made, just like they were with urban renewal. There's some people getting promised some things, just like they were with urban renewal, and they're propping up black people to do this, and certain black people are okay with doing it, because whatever they have to personally gain from it is more important than the betterment of the community as a whole.
So this is Urban Renewal 2.0. And for those who don't know, the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Negroes back then, 1961, they were prompted up to sell the black community out under their leader, John Wheeler, who y'all named the post office after. The same man that y'all named the post office after was largely responsible when he was head of the Durham Committee of Negro Affairs, now the Durham Committee on Affairs of Black People, for selling Hayti out. 4,000 houses, 500 black buildings. It was their job and their assignment to fool, to bamboozle the black community into selling out Hayti. That's history they don't want to talk about. Continue.
Yeah, I just think it's just sad, man. It's just sad that we expect this from. It just proves that white supremacy doesn't have to be white people doing it. There's black people that are agents of white supremacy and are willing to do things to further.
Read Neely Fuller. Pay attention.
Yep. To further whiteness for their own personal benefit. Because if these people wanted to get in office to do the community good, they wouldn't have to fight this hard.
Right.
They wouldn't have to raise so much money. They wouldn't have to do all the things that they're doing. And they're doing them because they're not. They're trying to enrich themselves personally, and to hell with whatever happens to the rest of us. You know, is Durham Committee doing anything about the SNAP EBT emergency crisis? Because it is an emergency crisis. Mm-hmm. Like, people not being able to eat is an emergency crisis. But the results of that will help feed into their narratives, right? Because if more people start engaging in survival crimes to eat and take care of their family, that will substantiate the crime conversation and trying to get this surveillance technology.
Talk about that.
So There's a tech company called Peregrine, which is an offshoot of Palantir.
Same founder.
Yep, same founder, same executives, which means it's the same mindset put into the technology. And it is artificial intelligence that's supposed to make policing easier. But really what it is creating profiles on everybody to do predictive policing, because they think that they can create a profile of everybody and be able to gauge your susceptibility or possibility to commit crime. So what do you think that that's going to do for people? It's going to make us be put in a database and tracked and surveilled and put in jail to increase the prison population, to increase slavery. You know, the 13th Amendment is there for a reason. Like, slavery is outlawed unless you're a prisoner. So if we put you in prison, that's free labor. That's a lot of our prisons are privatized. They're actually even trying to open prisons in North Carolina that have been closed, so they have places to put more people. It's all connected, and these folks all got their hands in some stuff, because at some point I'm gonna get into the role of the people at heart in all of this, because one of the directors of community safety, his wife is the one who had that fundraiser for Matt. So why are you raising money? How are you a part of an organization that is about alternatives to policing, but yet you're supporting a candidate actively participating in the criminalization of me for speaking my mind and being and exercising my First Amendment right? Like, and I'll go back to the fact that Middleton said something about Charlie Kirk and how what makes Durham so great is that people will have a right to say what they want to say, no matter how abhorrent it is. What's his exact words?
He also was talking about how we got to respect the arts.
Right.
We can't have any restriction of the arts. Just 2 nights ago at the forum. But wouldn't what you were doing be considered art? He was going off about how we need to respect the arts and artistic freedom, but when you express your artistic freedom, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's because they're chameleons. They speak to their audience, so they say whatever. They don't have real convictions about anything.
They speak with forked tongues.
Yep, they'll say whatever they need to say to get what they need to get from whoever's in the room at the time, and then that'll change when they get in the room with somebody else. Like, I've been consistent in the things that I say.
Very consistent.
And it's only personal to them because they're the ones that's in the seat right now. If somebody else was in the seat, I would have the same critiques of them. So it was never a personal thing. They made it personal by trying to attack me for telling the truth and brought these things out days and weeks after they happened in order to distract from their own campaign issues and the criticisms that have been raised against them. And it's not working. Like, they expected everybody to come out and publicly denounce me and maybe we're going to try to use it against people who didn't. But I don't think they expected people to really be supporting me to the level that they are and speak out publicly, because sometimes people are scared to speak out publicly because these folks are connected and they control the grants and they control the nonprofit funding, and a lot of people have businesses that rely on that funding. So I can understand how some people don't want to say anything, but I don't have any political connections, personal connections, financial connections to any of these people. And I feel free to say what needs to be said because it's a new day. Like, we got to move past this money over everything mentality, and we got to move past like being okay with a handful of people having everything while a lot of people have nothing. And I don't see how they sleep at night. Like, I don't see how Matt is sleeping at night and being okay, knowing he probably raised several tens of thousands of dollars the other night. And the people in the city that he claims to love and want to represent, a lot of those people live in that Hayti neighborhood and depend on those benefits. Has Matt been out there to try to donate money or goods to them, or has he only been out there when it was beneficial to try to pander to people for their votes? Like, somebody handed me a flyer at the poll with him talking to, it looked like a brown person and a black person. So it's like trying to subtly give us the message like, I'm good with black people. But like, you don't have any real like connection to that community that you're trying so hard to unseat the person. And if Deidreana Freeman wasn't connected to the community, that mural that's on Austin and Holloway Street, there's a mural that says re-elect Deidreana Freeman that's been there probably 2 months with graffiti.
Wow.
If Deidreana was not embedded in the community the way that she is, somebody would have painted over that.
Right.
It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing. Like, people don't know who Matt is.
And don't care. But what should the streets be doing right now? What should Oxford Manor be doing right now? What should Cornwallis be doing right now? What should the MAC be doing right now? What can we do as collectively to resist what's going on, to resist their attempts to displace families? What should they be doing right now? What should we as a community, especially the hood, so-called hood, be doing right now?
I think we need to be storming the city hall and telling these people, like, you're not going to take our homes. Like, it may not look good. You may classify it as the slums, but that's what you gave us to live in. And we've done the best that we could with it. So either give us something better or leave us alone. Like, most people would do all right in life just being left alone. But they keep injecting themselves and displacing people and taking a little bit that people have and redistributing the wealth from the bottom up instead of the top down, and not looking out for the people. So we're going to have to look out for ourselves. Like, we're going to have to organize together. We're going to have to put petty differences aside, settle your quarrels, like George Jackson said. Like, if it's people that you just got insignificant conflict with, like, resolve it and let's try to work together. It doesn't mean being friends. Like, it's the difference between friends and being comrades. Like, being comrades means we got the same struggle, we got the same enemy, and we need to work together to defeat that enemy. Like, we're not each other's enemy. These people in power are our collective enemy, and we outnumber them, and we can really, like, take what we're owed from these people and stop letting them run all over us. And the only way to do that is to be organized and to be, like, on one accord and to, like, stay on code.
Stay on code.
Stay on code. Like, it's going to take all of us. They can't do something to one person unless they're going to do it to all of us.
And don't vote for Williams, don't vote for Matt, and don't vote for Kopac.
Don't vote for any of them.
Any of them.
Any of them.
Send them packing. Send them home. It's us against the Durham bougie New World Order.
Yeah.
The Bull Illuminati.
Yes. Yeah.
The Bull City, Bull Illuminati. Wants our mind, soul, and our body. You posted that.
Yep. The evils.
Yeah.
The evils. It is really, like, it does feel like a good versus evil type battle, because, like, taking care of your people is like love. Like, taking from your people is not love. Creating policies that disenfranchise your people is not love. What they're doing is harmful. What they're doing is violent. And if they are reelected, they're going to continue that. And the key is, there's a law changed last December which says if zoning is changed, it can't be changed back. Which means if we approve this UDO, there's no going back. We can't go back and change it in the future. It's going to be what it is. So if we agree to this, and that means there's going to be 300-story apartment complexes every other block, then that's what it's going to be for the foreseeable future. And if that's not what people want, like, you gotta take a stand. Even if you don't vote, educate yourself about what's going on, so you know how to prepare and how to like combat it. You know, people got their own reasons for why they don't vote. I don't ever vote shame people or try to convert people other than giving them information. And I just think, you know, just continue to educate yourself about the consequences of this election and be prepared either way. Because it's going, regardless of what happens locally, it's going to get dark for people. It's going to get dark with benefits being cut, with the potential for martial law, with the potential for food shortages, clothes shortages. Like, it's really gonna get crazy, and the weather's about to get colder. Like, we're heading in the time where it's gonna be really important for people to like lean into community and support each other. And these people are not gonna be here for you to support you. They're not gonna be sitting in McDougal Terrace with you figuring out how you're gonna eat or how you're gonna get food for your baby. Like, they're not gonna do that unless there's something to gain for themselves.
Right. But
the people that were on that call the other night are gonna do that. The hundreds of people that are reaching out, like, how can I help? I want to tap in. Like, that's where the power is. The power is not in City Hall. The power is with the people, and we have more power than they have. We just gotta like exert it, and we can, and we should, and we need to make life untenable for them. Like, I don't just want them to be not elected. Like, I don't want them to feel comfortable enough to even live here anymore. Like, go take that mess somewhere else, because you're not a good resident. You're not a good community member. You're not a good person for the people, and you should not be comfortable here. I don't want to be nowhere that's comfortable for you. So if you're a restaurant and you're letting these people host events there, I don't want to come to your restaurant because I don't feel comfortable, because I don't think these are good people. And if you feel comfortable with them, I don't feel comfortable with you.
So in closing, after the election, does this movement stop or does it get stronger?
I think after the election, the movement is going to get stronger. I think the key is to continue to engage with people beyond like the politics of it all, because politics is theater, politics is performance, and it's entertaining, it's funny, it's got all these different angles to it, but like there's also real life that's gonna happen regardless of what goes on in the election. And I think as long as we keep having conversations with each other and trying to educate each other and raise the consciousness of each other and connect the dots for each other, like we're in a global struggle. Like, this is a global struggle. It's not limited to Durham. It's not limited to North Carolina. It's not limited to the United States. Like, folks got to connect what's happening in Gaza and Sudan and the Congo. They need to be able to connect that to what's happening in Durham, because the mindset, the colonial mindset, the imperial mindset that says I am entitled to your land, entitled to your property, entitled to take what I want, that is a mindset that is local, national, and global. And we have to defeat that, because this is stolen land. This is stolen land. We're all living on stolen land.
Right.
And I believe in land back, and I believe in giving the power to the people. And I intend to continue to pursue that mission beyond the election, because these are things that I have done before the election and will continue to do. I was consistent in saying, like, it was not about the election to me. The election was just a launching pad and a platform to further a bigger agenda, and that is like global unity to smash capitalism, colonialism, imperialism, and just have like a more communal society where we take care of each other. And what's the saying? Ubuntu I am because you are. Like, my survival depends on your survival. Our collective survival depends on our ability to trust each other and build together and take care of one another. And I feel like we could do that.
Indeed. So there you have it. You ain't got to go by what Monica Casey said. You ain't got to go by what WRL is putting out, their propaganda, their lynching attempts, their media lynching attempts. You don't have to go for what some two-bit politicians are saying with their political lynching attempts. You heard it straight from Ashley.
That's right.
Bull City Vanguard. Truth Minister Paul Scott, Black Hoodie Brigade, Braggtown Liberation Block. We out.